Well, hello everybody. My name is Kev. I'm Tarot with a Twist, and the reason why I'm doing this is my buddy Martin challenged me and said, "Dude, you gotta show your face." So I said, "What the hell?" Here I am. So I never done this before. So I have my cell phone here. I'm using to talk to you, and I have my other camera up here. And so tonight I want to do a little question. I was thinking about moving, and I got stuck. I'm thinking like, well, I want to use Marseille, and the question was around should I move? And I'm going to show you how that with the Marseille deck it's so much different than reading with the Rider-Waite. It's on the money, man. It's like it's so accurate. So anyway, I'm gonna cut the camera here and I'm gonna go to my hands over here and start sharing with you the cards. So I'll try to do this more often, show my face at the beginning of the video so you know who I am. I'm a real person. Hello everybody, and thank you for watching my channel. And now we're gonna go ahead and dive into the question, and I'll explain to you the difference between reading with a Marseille deck versus with a Rider-Waite deck, okay? Here we go. When you think about a question, you're saying to yourself, should I move, right? And you throwing cards down the table and you're seeing like the Three of Swords and the King of Batons and the King of Swords, you get in your head like, oh, it's heartbreak, but that's not really how you'd read a Marseille, because Marseille is not really going off the vibe of the image, because the keywords you've been accustomed to seeing this whole time have been given you by somebody else. So it's not really your intuition driving the question. And so for me, the reason I wanted to share this was because I am thinking about moving. My wife and I have been wanting to get out of where we're at for quite a while because we're just not really happy here. And it's just been a tough challenge. And so here you can see with the Three of Swords, what do you see? Now, we all know the Rider-Waite version is all about heartbreak and so forth because the mind snapped. So it's not really a heart card. It's a sword card. It's a mind card. And this is a mind card here. So when you look at the Marseille deck, what do you see? I want you to look really closely here. You see a sword going down. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into the colors too much, but I'm going to go into the sword because the sword is pointing down because it's not really, it doesn't have the capacity to act. It doesn't have the capacity to defend itself. It's just kind of stuck. And you see the two swords here that are crossing. It's encapsulating that tip of the sword. So the sword is being stuck by the two. So it's like an indecision. It's a stalemate where you can't really focus or figure out what you want to do, because you just don't know. And so all you have to do is pull the one sword, your potential, out, unstick the decision, and guess what? Now you're free to run with it. You're able to move forward and break free from it. So should I move? Well, it depends. Am I willing to take the sword out? Okay. Then you go, well, now we're going to go to the center card. And I should start with the center because the way I read the Marseille is I usually start the center card. These are my flanking cards, which means I read it kind of like my Lenormand a little bit. And so here I'm seeing that the King of Batons. What's the King of Wands all about? Well, it's fire, passion, and desire. And what we're seeing here, again, look at the body position. Pay attention because he's holding the baton, but it's pointed down. Kind of the same way that the sword's pointed down, right? And it's like the king wants to get out of the chair. He wants to jump out of the chair and he wants to get out of here, okay? He wants just to move and go do something else because his passion is burning. But what's going on here? Well, these two cards again, right, flanking it. This King of Swords is looking away. He's going that way. So he also wants to go. So the mind's saying, I really want to go, but how do I go? You see how these work together? He's saying, I need to go right now, but the King of Swords is in his way and saying, no, I'm going to block you. I'm blocking your ability to get up and move. And so should you move? Well, you should, according to these three cards, but you have to get your mind set right, because right now what you're seeing here is the mind is stuck, right? And notice how the sword is up, ready for action. Here it's down, indecisiveness. Okay, so when you read the Marseille, pay really close attention to the body position. So this king is blocking this king. He wants to go. He's saying no, but yet his head's also looking that direction. He wants to exit the stage. Now, one thing that I do is I use color. Now, I said in the beginning I wouldn't, but I do, because a lot of Marseille people do not. So for me, what's a predominant color here? It's red. It's to show me that the passion and desires that I have are to actually get up and get the hell out of here. Why am I not doing it? Because everything in my gut's telling me I got to go because I'm not happy. My desire is not here. It's somewhere else. It's my mind. I got to get my mind right in order to pull it off. Okay? That is one way to read the Marseille. Now let's go ahead and just find my Lenormand, no, my tarot deck, my Rider-Waite, where is it? To compare. Nope, it's not that deck. Give me a second. Let me go find my Rider-Waite, and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back, and here's a deck I'm going to use. to share with you. It's one I use most of the time anyway, because I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna look for those cards. I may have pulled them out earlier when I was kind of contrasting and comparing. They're not. So I need the Three of Swords. Where are they at? There's the King right there. I want to show you something. Okay, so there are the three cards. And this is the problem I have with the Rider-Waite. You see how here it's heavy blue. You can't really see that. You move the camera. So you see here it's really heavy blue. So blue, when you look at color therapy and psychology and whatnot, it's very emotional, right? It's you got the blues, something like that. You're cold, so forth. But I don't want to dwell on that too much. I did hear some kind of contrasting comparing. But if you look at it, you see how here you have a heart. And so people misconstrue this card as it's a heartbreak. It's not a heartbreak. It's the mind has been broken so bad that it breaks the heart. And then you have the gray with the rain raining down. So I'm asking the question to myself, should I move? Well, start in the middle. The king again is what? Pointing this direction. He wants to get off the throne. He wants to move, but he's moving what? Into this blockage, right? So same type of vibe, a little bit different. So the king has a blockage and his fire is being quelled a little bit by the salamander. So salamanders kind of keep the fire from getting out of control. It's one of the old folklores. And you see here the salamander and eating his tail. It means he's completed the cycle. He has mastery over the fire, the king does in a sense. So anyway, the king can also be very erratic, but the problem is his desire wants to go, but his mind doesn't know how to in a sense, right? It's kind of stuck, just like here. It's in a stalemate. But here you don't see the stalemate. Here you see more of like all the swords are just stuck in the emotions and the mind just can't make up its mind because his gray is so overclouded, right? But then you have the King of Swords here, again, another sword card. So it means it's, the mind's really at play here in this reading. And he's looking at me with a very stern look and saying, I want to go. You have to make up your mind. But what's really odd is that this king is facing the opposite direction, and this king's looking straight forward. So he's more like stable feeling this card here, and he's like more saying, you got to make a decision, the two birds. You got to make a decision, just roll with it, right? You got to kind of just stop letting your emotions take over too much. This isn't a cup card, but still the mind is overplaying the emotions. And then you have to then have your desires face your mind, have your desires, your fears, and everything else face your mind and become clear. And take that single sword, the new opportunity, the one sword, and roll with it. So anyway, that's just my quick little reading on how to, how I read with the Marseille versus the Rider-Waite. And if you did enjoy this, let me know. And I'll do more of these type of little readings. Anyway, that's all I got for today. And I just want to thank you again for joining my channel. And again, I'm Kev with Tarot with a Twist. And I want to see you on my next reading or review. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm going to do reviews or not. If you do like the reviews that I do, let me know. But I've been thinking more about trying to do them in a way where it's more like testing the deck out. So I'll read the deck in real time versus going through card by card because, that can get kind of old, right? Like everybody does that. I'm trying to do things a little differently. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you'd like to see more from me. I'm more than happy to do that. Anyway, until next time, I want to see you on my next video. Bye, everybody.